Hello there. How are you today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I have to start out with a confession. I've been backsliding. Ooh, don't you hate it when you do that? You know, like you kind of think you have a plan for the day and it doesn't happen that way. But of course it wasn't all my fault, yesterday when I went over to my sister's to do our weekly mahjong game, one of the girls said, "Oh, it's going to be so crummy tomorrow. I'm going to have a stay in my jammies and watch movies and, drink cocoa day." And I thought, "Oh, that sounds wonderful. I think I'll do that." So that was my first plan. But it totally didn't work because I have this thing inside of me that says, "Haven't you got something to do?" Because I usually do have something to do. And that's not right. That was my first mistake. My second mistake was that I didn't have a list. Therefore, I did not have my energy charge that I usually have going into the day. If you want to have a day that you feel good about at the end of the day, start your day with a real, actual, physical list. Well, I didn't have that. Why didn't I have that? Okay. Mistake number 3. It's a good thing in Unity we call sins mistakes because it's one of those things you know better. And my know better was I stayed up too late again. We've got a saying in Unity that every time we declare something for ourselves, all that is unlike it comes up for healing. So like a few weeks ago, I decided I'm going to bed earlier every night, and it's better for your health. And for those of you who are over 50, they said that the ideal bedtime, once you are in that age category, when you're old enough to join AARP, that's your first horror when you're 49 is you get your application for AARP, which is a wonderful organization, but it's also a validation you're getting old. Excuse me. So I was very good about it for a while. And then a couple nights in a row, the time creeped up on me and creeped up on me. And I didn't get done. I didn't go to bed when I was supposed to go to bed. What that creates inside of us, an uncomfortable thing that is called cognitive dissonance. And that's when you are trying to hold two different thoughts or behaviors at the same time, and they contradict each other. We're going to talk about that a little bit more today as we talk about just desserts or just desserts. Now, is this a spelling quiz? Because one is just DESERTS, and the other one is just DESSERTS. What a difference an S makes. Okay, but before we get there, let's just take a quick peek at the National Day calendar. Today, it is Chocolate Covered Nut Day. I don't know that I have any in the house, but I do have some chocolate. And I do have some nuts. So I think I'm gonna, for my just dessert tonight, I will throw a little piece of chocolate on a couple of little nuts and throw it in the mic for a sec, and I'll have me some chocolate covered nuts. Now, you have to know, I'm very particular about chocolate covered nuts. This is where my sister and I are so different, because we used to like, the Peter Paul candies, Mounds, and Almond Joy. And I like the Mounds that had coconut, which I loved, and it's chewy and sweet and gooey and wonderful. My sister, on the other hand, wanted the Almond Joy, with the almonds in it. She also liked almond Hershey bars. No, there's only certain kinds of chocolate that go with certain kind of nuts for me. Chocolate covered peanuts. When we used to play, there's one woman that used to join us for Mahjong regularly, and she's gotten pretty on the older side, and she doesn't come anymore, but she'd always brought M&Ms, the peanut butter chocolate, the peanut, chocolate covered peanuts. Nope, wouldn't eat those on a bet. Now, if you threw a pecan in there, we would be talking. And pecan turtles, that's my kind of chocolate covered nut. All right, let's go past that. It's also Skip the Straw Day. Funny, because we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. And that is, it's when you learn, we have to learn not to use straws. Straws are, you go out, they're giving them to you, they put it on out in your drink, or they already stick it in your drink or whatever. A lot of times we forget to say no straw. The straws, where they seem like a very tiny thing, have a huge negative impact on the planet. So unless you've got your jaw wired shut and you need to use a straw to suck up your lunch, it's better to avoid the straws, okay? And they're very, very harmful to wildlife and to the ocean, because that's where a lot of it winds up. And so let's try to hold in our hearts. There are many, many alternatives today. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like, but save the planet, let go of the straw. It's also something I could care absolutely nothing about today. It is Clam Chowder Day. So if you like clam chowder, this is your day. Whip some up for dinner. As for me, I am a big fan of corn chowder, and I could eat that every day. All right, that was the National Day calendar. It's funny, it was like all about food and food things. So we want to talk today about just desserts, or just desserts. Now, just D-E-S-E-R-T-S, one S, means you're getting your just desserts, which is your comeuppance. You're getting the punishment for what you did. Now, just desserts, that's about what you get after dinner, that's that dessert, which means it's a good thing. So, and just desserts in the negative with the single S, that's actually a legal term that prosecutors and lawyers and like that use very frequently to explain that the defendant needs to get his just desserts. We also need to get our just desserts. Now, whether we like those desserts or whether we don't like those desserts is dependent on the dessert we have earned. I want to point out another very important thing here. A lot of people say you should not, you should have your dessert first. They say, life is short, I'm having my dessert first. That's one of those things. We were talking about critical thinking yesterday, where critical thinking is based on fact, logic, common sense, truth, whereas subjective thinking, this principle, personality, is opinion. Now, by absolute truth and logic, if you have your dessert first, you are going to be curbing your appetite for the healthy things that you should be eating. So it is factually, critical thinking wise, not healthier for your body. For your personal self, for your ego, for your little self, oh yeah, but it's not going to get you where you want to be. And you lose out on another very important thing, and that is anticipation. Because when you're eating, whatever it is, I am a lifetime almost lifetime member of the Clean Plate Club. So yeah, clean your plate, you get your just desserts. Now, if you don't clean your plate, those could be some no just desserts for you. You get no just dessert. see, so I got silly. I got off track. Now I got to get back on track. But the Just Desserts, or Just Desserts, is about cause and effect. Everything we do, we are sending forth a cause. Every cause we send forth will bring an effect. So if we want to have good dessert, do you ever get excited about dessert, and boy, usually if I hear chocolate, I'm going to get pretty excited. If you go out to dinner, or you go to a friend's house for dinner, and this isn't nice, okay? I know this isn't nice. So your friend says, "Oh, it's time for dessert," and they'll bring out a little dish of like cut up apples or something. Cut up apples are very nice, but they're not dessert. Dessert to me is satisfying and delicious and almost naughty because it's so good. My opinion, that's subjective thinking. Are you getting it? Are you starting to be able to engage in some critical thinking there? Good, because I'm going to put you in another whole direction in just a minute. Okay, I want to tell you a story about Just Desserts, and I use this story very frequently when I do memorial services. And it goes like this. An elderly woman was dying, and she knew she did not have long on the planet. So she asked her minister to come to her house to talk about her memorial service. And the minister came, and they talked about the music, and they talked about the prayers and the scriptures and stuff like that. And she said, "Now, this is very important. When I go in that casket, before you bury me, make sure you put a fork in my hand." And the minister looked at her and said, "Fork in your hand?" She said, "Yep." She said, "When I was young, we would have church socials, and we'd have dinner. And when the dinner plates were picked up, they'd always say, 'Hang on to your fork, because dessert is coming.'" Isn't that a nice thought, that when your time here is done, to hang on to your fork because dessert is coming? Isn't it nice to feel complete and at peace enough with the way you lived your life that you could look forward to that just dessert, whether it was with one S or two? Think about that with everything you do. Think about the cause you are sending forth. Think about it with, critical thinking, not wishcraft. Not the way you want it to be, not the way that sounds good to you, not the way that makes it easier. We're going to look at a little bit of that in a little bit. So, we're going to talk now about cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is mixed mental and emotional information, messages, thoughts and actions. There are things inside of you that go, that doesn't make sense, And in life, we want our world to make sense. And if we listen to our lower nature, our human nature, we are likely to backslide like I did today. Now, I'm not mad at myself or anything. I'm disappointed because I really would have liked to have said some of the things I wanted to accomplish today done. Day's not over, but I have now only until 10 o'clock, because 10 o'clock I got to be in bed. Yep. And asleep by 11 is the goal. and I think I can pull that off. Of course I can pull that off. I can do anything I want, and so can you. So there. All right. So I had inside of me this dissonance all day. And it seemed like once I got off track at a certain point, you go like, well, throw up your hands, give it up for the day. You know, I'm not going to get anything done. What I did instead is, while I did not get done the things I kind of sort of had in mind with no list, I just kept plugging forward. Now, it wasn't easy because, this is the God's honest truth, didn't do jazzercise this morning. Well, you know how I feel about that. So that started me on the wrong foot. But I did stay in bed a little longer in my prayer time. So I did not have to rush through my prayer time or anything. I really enjoyed it warm and cozy in my bed with my coffee and my journal and my Bible and all my stuff. And Tishy just snoozed right up next to me. I mean, that was divine. I was lucky I could get out of bed at all. But I did. And then I had a good breakfast. That's a plus. Okay, I made wonderful oatmeal with a veggie sausage patty all mixed up in it, and a little cheese and a little milk, and it was banging. Kept me till well after what lunchtime should have been. So then I said, okay, I'm gonna go get started, and I poked around the house. I did a few things, picked some stuff up, washed some dishes and stuff like that, and I sat down at my computer. And I got really, really drowsy. Now this is what's really funny, okay? Yesterday, I didn't fall for that. Did you know your body lies? It does. The body can lie to you. It'll say like, oh, I'm tired. But you're really not. You're really, really not. But because it was cold in the house this morning, dark, it was sleeting and icky and so I put on this big old fluffy robe that my daughter gave me a couple of years ago. I put it on and I said, I gotta take a nap. I mean, there's that healthy afternoon nap when you had you got half of your day done and then you have a little nap, and this was not, this was like my body, which was lying to me, telling me it was tired when it had absolutely no reason to be tired. So I slept about a half hour. And then I got up. Okay, this is it. Now I'm going to get to that computer and get some work done. I got back to writing. And I've got a story, a book. I don't know what it is. It's just taken off on its own. That one I said probably would be banned. But anyway, that's off on its own. And then I have a story, camping season's coming. You probably noticed I got my hair cut. Well, that was the first haircut I had since I went to Utah. Back on December 19th is when I went, so it was a day or two before that. That was quite a while for a haircut now that it's February, 25th? So that was 2 months, more than 2 months. So my sister cut my hair yesterday and she said, well, that'll last you till we open. We're opening, April 15th. It's less than 2 months from now. So I thought, wow, it's really, time is really flying by. So I got a great idea for a campfire story. And I thought, oh, I'm going to work on that. Well, if anybody understands this and you can message me, do me private message or whatever, and explain this to me. I am not a dumb person. I am an actual tested member of Mensa. Well, I belonged at one time, and then I kind of let the membership go. But I earned it. I could still join it tomorrow if I want, because I was tested and I passed. But anyway, well, all I'm saying is I should know better. There's a thing on my computer called OneDrive. And for some reason, it all of a sudden took all of my documents and put it on this OneDrive thing. You know, OneDrive, I think, is in the cloud. So you put it up in OneDrive, and then you can access it from any, I could go down to the office and access my document there, and it updates and keeps it on this drive. There's stuff in there I don't even want on there. But what it started telling me is, your OneDrive's full. Your OneDrive's almost full. Your OneDrive's almost full. So I stopped syncing it. I thought all that would mean is it would just let me have my documents and that'll be it. But it wouldn't. So here I am trying to get to work on my stuff, to finally getting to work on my stuff. And I'll be darned, it would not work. And I don't know how I finally accessed my documents, but I did. And I know I had deleted a lot of stuff because I so if anyone knows how to only have certain things on OneDrive, because I really don't do enough to want to buy extra space on it. So that's a little thing. So that kind of took a piece of my day as well. All right, so I had those mixed emotional messages. I should be getting something done, but I can't get something done. And oh, well, you know, Sue's taking the day off. She's got her jammies on and watching movies. It's not in my nature. Cognitive dissonance is when things do not compute. You cannot make them add up. An example is, if you know someone who cheats all the time, lies all the time, but still doesn't seem to be, caught for it, that's hard, because if you're an honest person and you don't want to see someone else cheating or stealing or anything, and they're getting away with it, that causes, it literally causes an energy inside of you, a disturbance. There's a disturbance in the force, and it's inside of your being. We have times when we experience cognitive dissonance. For example, if we are tempted to tell a lie, if you don't feel something uncomfortable in your being, in your soul, when you lie, my prescription, my recommendation to you is that you spend more time in prayer and meditation. We all know the difference between right and wrong, between truth and lying. Knowing that lying is it's wrong based on the cause of law and effect, the law of cause and effect. If you are going to send out a lie, guess what? You're going to get lied to. You're going to get caught in the lie. Nothing good is going to come from doing something that is not good. If we use subjective thinking as opposed to critical thinking, and we say, oh, it's only a little white lie, you know what they say? This is what murderers say. The first one is the hardest. After that, it's easy. Oh, that's a horrible thing. So, but it is true that, the first lie we tell, whether we're telling it to ourselves or somebody else, might be a little hard because we know we are uncomfortable. I know I've told you the story 100 times. I'm not going to go into it today, but the first time I told a lie, I was under 2 years old. I remember it. I remember when it happened. I remember what was going on, and I did not like that feeling. Does that mean I never lied again? I did. I did off and on, I'd made excuses and fibs and stuff like that until I realized, it was like I was in my 40s when I really got it about cause and effect. And this is principle. It's not personal. And that's when I made a huge effort to stop lying. And I'd like to think I never lie, and I don't consciously lie. So if you caught me in a lie, let me know, because I haven't. All right, so but you have that dissonance, the discomfort inside if you are tempted to lie. And like I say, if you're not, You've probably been desensitized to what it is, and you might want to check out a few of the lies that you've told over time to see how'd that work out for you. Generally, there's something negative that follows that negative. A lot of times we don't stand up for ourselves, and that causes the cognitive dissonance, because you know you did the right thing, but for whatever reason, if you don't, now I'm not talking about fighting, getting back or anything like that. I'm talking about just being really clear, being really grounded. When I went through a horrible experience in one of the churches I served with church conflict, and I was told, don't defend yourself. And that was big cognitive dissonance, because I knew I was being accused of doing and saying stuff I never did and I never said. And I did not defend myself. And that did not have a good outcome. But I grew. And I know now that if let's say you're in that position, excuse me, let's say that you are accused of doing something that's out of integrity or whatever. You have to ask yourself, is it true? Did I do something, and if it is not true, and you're certain it's not true, then just defend yourself. If there's something about it that is true, the fastest way to get past that is to say, I am sorry, I was wrong. I know it's lousy tasting medicine, but when you say, I was wrong, not only does the person that you wronged, not only are they feeling justified, but they will give you all kinds of admiration and respect for what you did. Don't ever be afraid to say you were wrong if you were wrong. Okay, here's a big one. It's about investing. Now, I have a small retirement account. I have it I've had it since I was ordained and had my first church. And it came through my association of churches. And so I am trusting what's in that is something that I would agree with, because we should only invest in things we want to grow. See, that's what people get wrong about investing. Some people invest money to make money. If you want to invest truly wisely, you invest in what you want to grow. The money will follow. Believe me, the money will follow if you invest in what you want to grow. It's like if you find out that a company that one of your mutual funds can be so confusing. But if you find out you've got an investment in a company that is contrary to your beliefs, then it would, I don't know, there's a company, how companies, where they consolidate and they pick up other companies, and you might find that one of your investments consolidated with a factory farmer, a factory farming. There's no factory farmer. There's factory farms, which are very, very cruel to animals. I'm not going to tell you eat meat, don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian, been a vegetarian for decades. And I'm not going to tell you whether you should eat meat or not. I don't. It's my choice. One of the reasons is because I don't like cruelty to animals, and I don't want to eat animals. And if I found out that one of my, mutual funds had companies that were cruel to animals, I'd have to switch to somebody else. If you ever want to have a really good conscience and good feeling with your investments, check into something like Domini Investments, because they are socially conscious, and it's a good way to go. Well, didn't expect to get into that little tidbit. I just realized that divine discontent, I didn't realize it till just a second when I was saying it. Did you see a little light bulb go off over my head? Is about conscience. So cognitive dissonance, a piece of that is if you are unconscious. Your conscience is that part of you that says, and remember the old pictures of the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other one, and they were, do this, do this, do this. Always remember to use that critical thinking to overcome, in the right way, cognitive dissonance. When you are in a discussion and you're feeling the differences, if you feel that this is not going to go in a direction that you can agree with, if you feel it's going to take you deeper into discomfort and distress, it is better to bless it and let go. Now, if somebody asks you a question about something you did, something you think, something you feel, something you believe, you want to always be prepared by being able to articulate the reasons with the critical thinking behind them, why you think that, why you feel that, why you did that. But if you can't articulate it, I am a part of the credentialing team at Unity, and that means that one of the teams I'm on, well, it's all one team, but one of the activities is reviewing and interviewing students for admissions to ministerial school. The other part of it is to follow students through their path in their preparation for ministry, and in the end, with other ministers that have all been interviewing and examining them and asking questions and stuff like that, then you make the recommendation for ordination. Now, I had to go through that. I did, nobody just asked me to do this. I went through that when I was in school, like 35 years ago. And I looked at the members of my credentialing team. We called it L&O in those days. Some people called it the Christian and the Lions, because we had to be in there showing our stuff. And but the thing is that their goal is to make us successful. So a part of that, a part of being able to be ready for ordination is you have to be able to articulate your beliefs. You have to be willing to address difficult questions with ease, or with honesty and saying, I don't have that answer, but I'm going to look it up and I'll have it next time. That doesn't just boot you out just because you need to grow. We all need to grow or we wouldn't be here. So I'm hoping that what you got from today was to listen to your inner being, to stay tuned. Stay in tune with Spirit. Stay in tune with the divine. To listen to your own thoughts and practice critical thinking. Practice articulating your thoughts and feelings. Oh, and in Unity we always say, speak your truth with love. And always know it's okay to release and let go of a situation that is not helping you to grow and be all you can be. We're all on our own paths. We're all at different places. Spiritual growth is not linear. It's abstract. So, I hope you grow. You can go outside and get watered. Well, you have a wonderful evening. It's the weekend. So unless something happens that I feel I just gotta talk to you, I will be off for the weekend. You can find this back again on YouTube. Forgive me, I could not upload that document about critical thinking and subjective, objective, subjective. So if you want it, you can private message me, and I can attach documents there. But I can't copy and paste them. So until next time, have a great day. Be safe, stay warm, and know that I love you. And so does God. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.